Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna let the list populate. Y'all know normally I do the weekend recap, but it's like wow, so I'm gonna open up the panel to everybody to react as concisely as they can to yesterday's lightweight contest. There is gonna be a weekend recap, but you'll considering what happened, there's a lot to recap. There's a whole lot to recap. So let's just get it started. Let's populate before we enter into this discussion. Yo, this shit is wild, B. They don't call it the theater of the unexpected for nothing, yo. I'll tell you that. That is crazy, bruh. The highs and lows in boxing are very dramatic. They're very dramatic. Let's give it a second to populate. In the in between time, while we wait for the list to populate, I was goody Aaron, Thrash Attack was good. Shooligan, Danny was good. Roman was good. Ringside was good. Josh was good. Yo, dog. Willie, what's good, B? What's good, Willie? What's your opinion on why T.O. crashed and burned? My opinion on why he crashed and burned is they did not have a game plan for George. I don't think that they took him seriously. George had a game plan, and it looks like Teofimo did not. That's what I see. I would say that the time off hurt him, and maybe it did. I do believe that the time off hurt him, but you have to remember George has been out of the ring the same amount of time as Tio. So if Tio has ring rust, then George probably has ring rust. So it's not really the time. It was that you didn't have a game plan for that dude. The way he came out in the first round, you could see that he was looking for the knockout. And what do you hear about doing that? If you go looking for the knockout, if you don't just let it come and set it up and let it happen, if you go looking for it, you might get knocked out. Now he didn't get knocked out, but he did get knocked down because he was swinging all crazy. And the main thing I see that costed him the fight was that he didn't have a game plan. Like he literally did not have a game plan at all. He just thought it was going to be, he thought George was just any old body from any old where, and not George came to win. So as far as what costed him the fight, to me, it was that he didn't have a game plan. George had a game plan, and Teofimo did not. And I wouldn't overstate the role of the time off. I wouldn't overstate it. I do believe it had its role to play, especially for him. He likes to be an explosive fighter that works off the counter and lands hard shots. So if you sit out for a year, you're not gonna be that explosive a year later because you got ring rust, bro. Your reflexes is dull. It's been a long time since you fought somebody. So it's not that it doesn't have its role to play, it does. But the main thing I see is that he didn't have a game plan for George. George had a game plan, Teofimo did not. Father needs to be fired. Horrible trainer. Lopez looked terrible. Yes, he did, ringside. Yes, he did. Think T.O. should steer clear of Taylor. Well, that's the other thing. The other day, and I did a video on it here on the channel. The other day, Marcos Villegas, Fight Hub, he said that he feels Teofimo would beat Josh Taylor. And I said it, I did a video on it. I'm like, yo, I don't know where they getting that from. If your best win is a featherweight that moved up to super featherweight and lightweight, how does that equate to you beating Josh Taylor? Josh Taylor's mad big for 140. Did y'all see when he stood next to Terrence Crawford? He made Crawford look little. Not little, but he was bigger than Crawford. T.O. set off so many red flags prior to the fight. I want to open up the conversation to the panel, and I'm only gonna let a few people on at a time, so everybody don't end up talking over each other. And y'all just give me your thoughts on what y'all saw. Everybody's free to join. Tell me what you think, man, because this is and there will be a weekend recap later on today. There will be a weekend recap, but it's just like, yo, this is big, dog. Like, really, just like that. The highs and lows in boxing is crazy, bro. Crazy. Jay, you had time to go to sleep and think about it. You woke up this morning. I assume you ate breakfast or had your morning coffee. I have my morning coffee.
I had some tea.
Now that you've had time to process what you saw, how do you feel about it? What do you think happened?
I felt Tio got his ass whooped in school. That's what I felt. No game plan going in, trying to knock, trying to knock Cambosis out. Took him lightly, and he paid for it. That's what happened.
I'm gonna take it to Virtuoso. Virtuoso, you had time to rest up and sleep on it and all of that. We always watching boxing late into the night, so I'm assuming you know what I mean. Like you had time to process everything. What's your reaction to that shit now that you have time to reflect on it?
Man, they really messed up. They really messed up this time. You know, um, I've never seen like a performance like that where it's like to just like intentionally ill prepared is what I would probably describe it as. Um, you had all this time off, all the rescheduling. After what 11 months out, or almost over a year, like already over a year that you fought since the Lomachenko fight, which gave him a big ass head because his fucking father and his manager and his idiot fans gassed him up. You know, he felt like he was on to bigger and better things, but his trouble started when it's like I I cannot fathom this enough, but like you can't be just doing shit on your own and not expect to get fucked over like that. Because I don't understand how you let yourself get away, with this ego shit, and you price yourself out of a fucking mandatory fight that really shouldn't have been that hard to take place. Just do that shit. When you had the chance, you had an open date, but you was afraid about competing with Mayweather, and they let you reschedule, and you called COVID, and then you got another reschedule and all that stuff. And just the way he handled himself to me, and like during the uh press conferences, the fucking training camp, I was like, I didn't see the seriousness of it. I saw more of it on Camboso's side, and that's saying a lot. I mean, you pretty much let the guy um dictate the pace of the fight. You didn't really train that hard, because like you just looked past him because all he was talking about, right, was Josh Taylor. I'm doing this and 140. This is gonna be my last fight. All right, Pete. So you better come up with a better performance than that. If you're gonna leave like that, you can't go out like that.
Now I'm gonna
Um,
say this. You touched on a very valid point. That he let the victory over Lomachenko. Right. It's been a year, over a year since he fought Lomachenko, and it's like the victory kind of distracted him because you thinking too much about Lomachenko, and you thinking about this, and you thinking about that, but you're not thinking about George. Mark, you saw the fight. What do you think caused the Teofimo to fight?
His ego.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Just in two words, his ego. From my own perspective, what I saw yesterday was a fighter who, one, didn't respect his opponent at all.
Mm,
Showed no respect for what boxing is.
yeah.
Last night, kind of turned himself. It was almost like watching a lightweight Deontay Wilder for a bit,
Yes.
and
Yes.
just searching for one shot. I saw a fighter who doesn't know how to cut off a ring. I saw a trainer who doesn't know how to give you any instructions at all.
At all.
And when you just probably the worst corner, like people give Tunde a joy shit. Empty the tank is more advice than what he gave to you.
Agreed. Agreed.
It actually is more advice. Um, as far as everything else in the fight, I saw George come with an actual game plan with that overhand, right?
Yep.
Tripling up the jab for the hook.
Yep.
Um, the one thing, like from Tio's side of things, that really did infuriate me, though, like really bothered me, wasn't even that he attempted to load up on one singular shot.
Wi-
It wasn't. It
Thank you.
was that he came away. He came away from what he's good at.
Can I say? But can I say that is one thing you want to focus on, because that is what now that I've had time to see the fight twice, that's what I see. That like, yo, you really wanted to hit him with one good shot. You didn't want to set up the shot. That's why you got fucking dropped in the first round, because you wasn't trying to set up the shot. You was just swinging crazy. And everybody knows if you go in there swinging crazy, you might get hit with some shit yourself. And that's how he fought the whole fucking fight. Like, bro, it's not just gonna be one shot. You gotta wait for the knockout to come, because like, yo, dog. And I feel nuts and bolts, because I don't want to take away from George, but nuts and bolts, that's why he lost. Because George has been out the same amount of time as Teofimo. So let's not overstate ring rust. What I see is George had a plan and Teofimo did not. Teofimo thought he was just going to throw and George was going to go down. That's what it looked like.
George had more respect for his opponent than Tio did. And no matter what level, no matter what level we think, no matter what level we think George might actually be at, right? It doesn't matter if he's world class or if he's mediocre at world level, right? Every fighter who's like good enough to beat a former world champion like Elise Selby, you should take them at least a little bit seriously, even if they don't have a lot of power. Just because he's able to outpoint Lee Selby in the UK, that alone means like at least set up your fucking punches. Just at the very least, don't be walking around like Deontay Wilder on Ritalin.
All right, now let me read a couple of super chats and pass it to one of the other panelists. First, Willie Lynch says, hold up, I got two fucking shits on. Hold up, let me get off the shit. All right, now, Willie Lynch says, I'm always confused by how long a layoff affects some champions. Floyd had long layoffs, but he always found a way to win. I don't think he stopped training. I'm gonna say the layoff would affect a fighter like Teofimo, because he wants to counter. He fights in bursts. So your reflexes, they need to be sharp in order for you to do that, for you to counter in kind. For him, his timing is off, his reflexes is off, and he wasn't setting up the shots. He was just throwing crazy ass shit from round one, thinking it was going to land. And once again, to Mark's point, to the point I made earlier, I don't think he had a game plan. I don't see what game plan he had. I'm gonna go to ringside views. Ringside views. You've seen the fight. What's your interpretation of the fight?
Julius, man, what it do? Man, I think we all kind of mentioned it up to this point. It seemed like he just didn't have a game plan, man. Teofimo's a fighter who relies a lot on his reflexes. And I think the weight drain, I think that has something to do with it. But just overall, he just didn't have a game plan just going in there.
I agree.
He just didn't have a game plan. He was slow, just the timing was off, footwork was bad, kind of chasing him around the ring, leaping into punches.
Yes.
Just no setup, just you know what I'm saying? And his dad in his corner, that was horrible. Fuck him up, bro. That's not advice in the corner. You know what I'm saying?
It's not, and you know, I've always wondered. I think you guys might know more about this than me. Is Teofimo Sr. really his trainer?
Well, I know for his camp, for Joy Gamache came in for Richard Comey.
Yeah, for Comey.
No, for Loma.
He came in. No, you're right, because he was there for more than one fight. He might
have been there for two camps. I think it was Richard Comey, and then he was there for Loma. I know he was there for Loma for sure. And then they brought in Jorge Rubio for this fight. But I don't know if he was there for the second camp. I know Jorge Rubio was there for the first camp. I don't know if he was there for the second camp.
But we know, if we don't know nothing else, that Joey wasn't there last night. He wasn't there. And it's not, it's not even just, oh, well, you didn't have Joey in your corner, so you lost. I think Mark said it best. Lopez did not respect his opponent. That's what I see. Like, you just thought that he coming here to lay down, and he not here to lay down. I'm gonna pass it to Box Watch. Box Watch, you've seen the fight. What thoughts are resonating with you this morning?
I had to watch it 3 times. I've watched it 3 times now. Listen, I so wanted to get on and chat to you, man, before this fight. I called it, bro. I said to my cousin, yeah. I should be betting on my predictions. You know, I called it. I said to myself, "Do you know what? Things wrong with Tiafimo. Like something was just wrong. The whole build up to this fight. He's arguing about if he's undisputed. Competition with WBC was for Devin Haney. All of that stuff was more interest to him than this fight here. He thought all he had to do was go in there, hit this guy 1-2 times. He's sleep. That's it. He didn't have no respect for the fact that, you know what, this guy is actually a contender. He's unbeaten like yourself. He's had more pro fights than you. Yeah, you stand out amateur and stuff, but this guy has an amateur career as well. He's had more pro fights than respect your opponent. This is why Crawford Porter the way he did. They both had a year layout. Same with this fight. They both had a year off. But what happened? Crawford, you saw Crawford in the first 4 rounds. His was off. He's a counter puncher as well. His timing was off. You know, he wasn't fully at the races, but slowly but surely he worked his way into Tiafimo didn't do none of that. He just went in there thinking, I'm gonna throw bombs and he's gonna go to sleep, which just didn't happen. His dad he needs to get rid of his dad in his corner, talking about, come on, bro, what you doing, bro? Why you ain't got him out of there yet, bro? Come on, fuck him up, bro. Like listen, as Mark said, I got bare respect for Tunde Ajayi now, Carl. At the end of the day, if this is the corner that you've got telling you what to do, yes, you might have had another trainer with you, but the man of you giving you instructions of what to do, of how to win this fight, is not telling you anything. He's a cheerleader. He's just being a cheerleader right now. Telling you, come on, man. I could have been in the crowd shouting the same thing his dad was shouting. There was no instruction.
Now let me read this super chat because they're piling up. Just got done watching the Tio fight. George definitely won. I agree. I think he won. I don't think it goes. There's nothing controversial about the scorecard to me. Well, as far as the outcome, I should say, it's not the outcome. The right man won the fight. Karma says I won 10 rounds. I got another one here. Let me see. I got another one. Moore says, ever since he won in belts, Tio walked around thinking he's better than God himself, looking down on everyone. It wasn't confidence, it was more arrogance. And what do we say about pride? I was good, Ronnie. Let me post the link for Ronnie. What do they say about pride, gentlemen? Comes just before the fall.
Before destruction.
Yep. And that's that. I mean, I don't want to make this about oh well, Teofimo beat, in other words, I don't want to denigrate George's victory by making it about what Teofimo didn't do. George had a game plan. That's what I see. George actually had a plan of action. Teofimo did not. And if your arrogance is the reason for that, well, it means the same thing. You went in there thinking this dude is a slouch and it's gonna be easy. And you found out real motherfucking fast in the first round, nah, it ain't gonna be easy. This dude is here to fight. This dude is here to win. So let me pass it to Spade real quick. Spade, you seen the fight. I assume you've seen it at least once. What do you think?
What I think about the fight is Tio took him for granted, one. Two, Cambosis is a definition of when a guy gets it there the hard way. You understand? Because there was no promotional push behind him. He was in a fighter that people were like excited about. He just knew, all right, I gotta go in there and I gotta beat this guy. Tio is riding off the Lomachenko win, and I don't want to downplay it, but it wasn't like you dominated Lomachenko. It was you won by the skin of your teeth.
Thank you. Because I think a lot of people didn't look at that fight through the right lens. They're like, okay, even if you had him beating beating Lomachenko, it wasn't by a wide margin. You know what I mean? To me, it was a tale of two halves.
And another thing that if you pay attention to this, Lomachenko really did give you the blueprint on how to beat Tio. If you watch this, if you look at the 6th round on, Lomachenko pressed Tio, right? And Tio wasn't the same fighter. If you look at what Cambosis did the same thing in spots, right? When Tio came up trying to do a sharp counter, he would bum rush. He would throw combination little bum rushes combination to get Tio uncomfortable. You understand? So in that sense, Lomachenko actually gave you the blueprint. He just didn't follow. He just didn't start it fast enough.
That's what it was, because I saw and I stand by this to this day. Before I pass it to Chris, I stand by this, that to me the way I scored the Lomachenko fight, It was a tale of two halves where Loma picked up at least one round in the first six, and Tio picked up at least one round in the first six. And I had a draw. Like the only rounds that I saw Teofimo win, and I said it, I didn't want to sound salty, but I said it then, and it's up. It's still up if you want to listen to it. Lomachenko costed himself those rounds. It's not that Tio won those rounds, it's that Lomachenko didn't throw. And if you didn't throw, well, and you getting pushed around, well, you losing a round.
You're not the only one that said that. I have a friend of mine that I was talking about it. That I was talking about the same fight. I was like, Tio won the rounds not on what he did. He won the rounds based on what Lomachenko didn't do.
Yes, he did. Yes, that's my view of it. That like your dog, and I wasn't trying to shade him because people go and think I'm trying to shade him if I say that, especially the Sunday after the fight. But I said, like, to me, the rounds I saw Teofimo win, it wasn't on activity. It was because Loma wasn't throwing. So of course you losing a round. If he's backing you into the ropes, neither one of you is landing very many punches, but he's backing you into the ropes. It's gonna look like he winning a round. Now I'm gonna pass it to Chris. Chris, you saw the fight. Yeah. All right, Chris tied up. Chris sound like he tied up.
Yo, you can hear me?
I can hear you. Go ahead. Saw the fight. We all saw the fight. Now that it's Sunday morning, you had time to reflect on it. What's your thoughts on the fight?
George Kambosos won that fight.
Yo, your mic is well low. Your mic is well low.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but it sounds like you under a pillow or some blankets or some shit.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm gonna have to fix that. But so what I said, to be quite honest with you, Kambosos won that fight, and we have to look at Tio. Hey, when you went off on the plug, this is what happened. Because I remember watching, Lomachenko versus Lopez because that happened to fall on my birthday, and you were right. I remember watching it with my friend at a bar, and all I saw is, Lomachenko give it away. Give it away. It wasn't that, Tio was, sure to drop Lomachenko with hard shots, with some brutal combinations, and Lomachenko couldn't do anything with him. At the end of the day, we see now that if you press Tio, if you can weather Tio's big punches, because let's really keep it above. That first round, I thought Kambosos was going to get taken out.
Real shit.
With some really hard shots.
Real shit.
Kambosos showed strength of character, and he really did the damn thing. I'm proud of him for
Yeah, bro, he made me proud to be Australian.
No, the fuck is that?
Yo, I'm proud as shit to be an Australian right now, B. I can't believe it.
Can I say something quickly though as well?
Go ahead,
everything what we're saying about the fact that it's what Loma didn't do, YTO won. It's kind of the same with this fight, because not that Teofimo didn't throw, but as Mark said, he abandoned everything he's good at. Like what we saw last night, that's not the best Teofimo by a long shot.
But can we say, Box Watch, what I saw last night is George won the fight, right? Because of what he was actually doing, the punches he was landing, the knockdown that he did score. I saw a guy with a game plan, and
100%.
I saw a guy with a game plan and a guy that don't have a game plan. Whereas with Lopez Lomachenko, what I saw is, well, he's not fucking throwing. So of course he's losing the round. He's not fucking throwing.
Yeah, that's the major difference there. But just check it like this. You see, when you're at this level, because then them guys are in and around the same type of level per se. But there's fine margins after that, because I believe that Teofimo is actually a better boxer than George Kambosos in all entirety. But with that being said, when it comes to that level now, it's all about the small margins. Like Teofimo's mindset was all wrong from the time when he told Bob, I don't want that money, this has got to go to purse bid. That's where you just know, say his mind isn't in the right place. If he had just gone with he's with Top Rank, you're with Top Rank. Trust this process, get the fight, get that mandatory out of the way in February or March, whenever it was supposed to first happen. It out of the way, yeah, and move on career. Do you understand? You made this little mandatory go a whole year. Do you understand? And then have the fight to come out, I can't fight on Floyd, or I'm sick now, and all these little things that happened in the course of the whole year. All George was doing was getting more and more confident.
Now let me read the super chats before I pass it to Capricorn Base the kid. Nobody can take the win away from George. Tio had most of the belts and beat Loma. George beat the man who beat the man. You can't take that away from George. No matter the angle, he beat the best. Black Apostate says Tio looks too big for the division. Can he even make weight anymore, or does he move up now? Oh, and we got to unpack that, bro, because that's a separate conversation. You know what the fuck is he gonna do now? You know what I mean?
Was told. Oh, so go ahead.
Ronnie says Tio abandoned his boxing skill set altogether and didn't have a plan B once he got dropped in the first. 111, 115, that Australian Slim. I agree. Like to me, it's just obvious that George won the fight. And what I really liked about George's performance is it looked like he was about to go out in the later rounds. In the second half of the fight, his leg was fucked up. He got dropped. And the last 2 rounds, he found the intestinal fortitude to like, nah, this fight is not going to get away from me, B. He found his feet.
He won them rounds. He won them rounds.
He found his feet. He got his composure back, and he got back on his boxing. Francis, hold on.
Tio was gassed out in the 11th and the 12th.
We'll talk about
After
that.
he knocked him down, he was gassed out. Tio Cambosos came up and said, "Listen, I'm getting at you, bro."
Yo, look, let me read the super chat. We'll get right to that. I felt bad for Tio at the end of the fight because his dad was dancing and smiling with Cambosos' corner, and Tio was there bleeding out just watching. Well, I'm gonna say this. I do feel bad for him. Like, I ain't heartless. I feel bad for him because this is a monumental loss, right? But to go back to what Boxwatch was talking about, it's true. When he knocked him down, the very next round, Tio was gassed, B. The very next round, like he put it all into that motherfucking knockdown, I guess, because he lost those last 2 rounds to me.
Yeah.
Listen, he knocked him down early in that 10th round, right? And then after George got up, he thought, yeah, I'm going to finish him off. And he didn't get to finish him off. And he basically emptied the tank. He done a Tundeja. He emptied the tank. And George, he got caught a couple of times, but then he started tying him up. And he just, you know what I mean? He got himself, that's a tough young hombre right there, you know.
Tough man. Base, you saw the fight. I assume you've seen it once or at least more than once. What are your thoughts on Sunday morning?
My thoughts on Sunday morning is the same thing I said on Twitter last night. The takeover needs a makeover. It needs to start with getting rid of his dad. Piece of shit. That's the first thing. Like, there was no game plan whatsoever apart from swing and just expect your power to take you through the rounds. Like, at the end of the day, the guy's a mandatory in it. So regardless of whether you respect that, he's done enough to put himself in a position to be given a mandatory shot against you for your titles. You have no rematch clause. You have absolutely no excuse or reason to take this guy lightly, because if you slip up for any reason whatsoever, there's no recourse for you. There is no rematch. There's no way for you to run it back on any terms that are favorable to you. So you let everything slip because, number one, your ego was on 12 when it should have been on like 4, and you've been a big humble guy. And then outside of that, you're thinking about people like Josh Taylor. Like, Josh Taylor isn't even bigger than Terence Crawford, but yet you think you're getting up there to do bits with an ex-Capricorn. Like, I don't even know what you was thinking. And then outside of all of that, how about we just think, you know what? Maybe Teofimo just ain't as good as we thought he was. Or maybe is better. How about that?
I don't believe it.
Yeah, no, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
Let's chill. Let's chill. Everybody calm down. Everybody calm down one at a time. Ooh, it's getting spicy already. It's getting spicy already.
Let me ask something real quick.
Chant this shit, Ren. Chant this shit.
I gotta ask, and I'm gonna go around the panel now because I don't think we all agree on this. And I'm gonna start with Virtuoso. Virtuoso, in your heart of hearts, do you feel that Teofimo is a better boxer than George Kambosos?
You know, prior to this fight, I did. You know, but I mean, you just look at the outlook of it, like just at the result of what training camp does. You know, it's like, from what I heard is that Teofimo like kind of gained weight for this thing. It's like he kind of overhydrated, and that's why he didn't have that muscle tone because he's struggling to make weight. You know, but it all comes down to just preparation. And I'm like, you just see it in the corner. Like, come on, bro. You can't be just coming in with that wild ass Brooklyn energy and like, yo, fuck him up, fuck him up.
But
Like,
look,
come on.
look,
Like
bro,
he owes you money. Nah,
we
that's not
look
how
what
it
we
works.
just talked about. What we just talked about, right? Everything that we went around the board and talked about, right? All of that was the intangible shit. I'm talking nuts and bolts, jabs, straights, and right crosses and feet, lead foot advantage, lazy jabs versus proper jabs, shit like that.
All
Do
right.
you feel that Teofimo is a better boxer than George?
Hey, can I say something? Let me say something to
Yesterday
that. Let
he
me tell
was
you.
he
Hold
was
on.
not a better box. Hold
We
on.
gotta
He
control
was
this shit.
not. He was not.
Last night he was not a better boxer than George. I felt that Teofimo regrets.
All right, I'm gonna go to ringside. Ringside. You see what we talking about now? You saw the fight. We all saw the fight. But after all is said and done, do you feel like Teofimo is really a better boxer than George?
Absolutely. There's nothing that George did last night that was anything better than what we've seen from Lopez before. Not last night, not judging him based on his performance, and not to take away from Cambosos, like you said earlier. I don't want to take away from Cambosos, but Tio does everything better. He just wasn't able to put it together last night. Tio got a better jab, better footwork. He's faster. He showed that he was faster than him last night. Tio would throw the 1-2-3, and you would see Cambosos, his defense. He would try to move along with it, but he was just too slow. So Tio's clearly the faster guy. He just wasn't able to put it together last night.
All right, I'm gonna go to Spade. Spade, do you still think that Tio is a better boxer than George?
No, what I will say, Tio is more athletic. He's a more athletic fighter than George. I wouldn't say a better boxer. When we say boxer basically means the person that's better to hit, that the person that could score and not get scored on. That's the better
I
boxer.
agree.
Tio
I
wasn't the
agree.
better boxer. I always felt he was a better athletic fighter. If you want to talk about boxers will be a boxer through and through. Aristotle Lara, no matter how long he's laid off, he will continue to box.
Yeah.
You understand? Tio's style, like you said earlier, is a style that depends on timing.
Yes.
Timing is only effective if you're active. Your reflexes are sharp, but if your reflexes aren't, then we'll see how good of a boxer you really were. For example, Roy Jones. Roy Jones, I never felt was an elite boxer. I always felt he was one of the most gifted fighters as far as athleticism. If you want to talk about boxers, James Toney was a boxer because even in his old age, coming towards the end of his career, he was still boxing.
Hopkins
too. It's the same thing. Those guys were boxers through and through. Roy and the fighter that I would say could do both kind of would probably be Jaron Ennis, who's an athletic guy but can also box.
I'm gonna take it. Let me read the super chat, then I'm gonna take it to Jay. I don't think Tio has a lot of nuance to his game. Shout out to Stephen Williams. I appreciate you. I don't think Tio has a lot of nuance in his game. He was able to get away with a lot due to his athletic talent. We just talked about that, and punching power. When he can't blow a guy away, he struggles and doesn't adjust. Jay, do you feel, even though last night worked out the way that it worked out, do you feel that Tio really is underneath it all a better boxer than George?
Okay, yeah, everybody touched on it pretty good. I pretty much agree. I believe that Tio, he has better qualities than George. I'll give him that. He has his reaction time is better. He's more athletic, just like Spade was saying. He has greater punching power, but he's very defensively lacking. I noticed as well. He tends to get hit a lot in a lot of his fights. Lum pieced him up. George did a lot. In the Nakatani fight, he got hit quite a bit. And and I mean, in terms of just boxing as a whole, I believe George is better. George is much better as a boxer because I think that I mean, with the right game plan. I mean, George, because I saw the fight again. George got a little reckless. I think he got too confident when he saw the fight was going his way, and he just thought he could trade with Tio, and he almost paid the price for that. Yeah, he got knocked down, and then he bit down on the shield and finished strong for the last 2 rounds. So I believe that yes, George is a better boxer than him, and I believe with the right game plan, he will beat Tio again. Because I noticed when Tio, like, certain qualities, like when a fight is not going his way, he seems to fall apart at the seams. You know what I mean? Like when he gets
That's
hit.
true.
I'm gonna say this to the point that Jay is making. The Nakatani fight comes to mind. The Richard Comey fight is not going to come to mind because the fight only lasted 2 rounds, so there's not a lot that it leaves you to think about.
The first round of that fight was very, very, very close. I mean, like that was a good first round. And Comey big, even though he got knocked out in the second, he got caught. He gave a good first round.
It's more like all right. With that fight,
Hey,
whatever
Ray, can I
happens.
interject?
Hold on. With that fight, it only lasted 2 rounds. But what I saw last night was kind of akin to what I saw in the Nakatani fight. That if you can't out-muscle the guy, which is what I think he does, he out-muscles a lot of guys because he has quick counters and power. And if he stand in front of them, guys get intimidated by that. If he can't do that, all right, what you gonna fall back on after that? Because he was just throwing a lot of just wild ass shit. Like, bro, double up on your jab, set up the punch. You're not doing that. You just throwing crazy shit now.
And George was easily able to see and counter that shit. You know what I mean?
He'll take a half step. He would take a half step back, put a jab in his face, and keep it moving. Like you gonna throw that wild shit. He gonna take a half step back, jab. Maybe he'll follow up with a right hand, but keep it moving.
Literally at the end of the first round, he came running into that overhand right. He got caught with.
You see how
with his shoulder shit. He's like,
you know how he darted across the ring. Like you could tell that, like, yo, this dude don't have a plan. He just think that he gonna come in here and knock him out.
He got caught with a lazy jab at that. He threw a jab and got caught with an overhand right.
Real quick,
didn't bring his hands back.
Mm-hmm.
He thought it was gonna be an easy fight. That's just what it was. He thought it was gonna be an easy fight.
But yeah, and hold on, let me champ the shit. I think we all agree that he thought, oh, this is gonna be easy, right? But is him thinking that it's gonna be easy and it blowing up in his face? Does that make him a bad boxer?
No.
Go ahead, Chris.
Let me speak on it. Tio is very athletically gifted, but Tio has shown that he actually does have some boxing skill. He just came up against a guy that had a better game plan. I don't think George Kambosos is a better boxer. I don't think. But let's keep it a buck. We're talking about defense, right? Defense is skill, but you also got to remember you have to be athletic to be defensive at the highest level. You have to have some sort of athleticism. The shoulder roll require athleticism. Like people talk about James Toney and all that. Yeah, it requires athleticism. I understand it may not take a lot of athleticism because your eyes and you're just rolling your body with the punches being thrown, but you still have a level of athleticism and coordination that will make your defense what it is. Defense has an athletic component to it. I don't care what anybody says.
Before I pass it to base, I'm gonna say this because it just came to me that this is how I feel. Y'all can feel free to disagree. I believe Tio has more tools, but he's not a better boxer because if he was a better boxer, he would have had a plan B. Yeah. I feel he's probably a better physical specimen. Maybe he has more tools, but he's not a better boxer because what beat him yesterday was boxing. Base, what say you?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not gonna say that I think Tio's rubbish all of a sudden or whatever. I'm just saying, look, maybe Kambosos was better than we was giving him credit for, and maybe we just overhyped Tio because he beat one of the best in the business that we can time. Now, with all of that being said, I think Kambosos is much better than we gave him credit for, and not only that, part of being a good boxer and actually being sort of a world level guy is being able to execute a game flawlessly, which is pretty much what he did for almost all 12 rounds of the fight. So if that's the case, if Teofimo isn't able to execute a game plan or not able to adjust on the fly when things happen, then we can't say he's elite because the elite guys can do that. So you might be world class, you're definitely world level, but maybe you're just not as good as we thought. And that's my opinion on it. And ultimately now he's going to go to 140. Probably he's going to start getting paid shit money because he ain't got no belts and nothing to bargain with. He would have been better off calling for the Haney fight straight away before the mandatory even got called and said, look, let's just do the whole undisputed thing. Tell Bob, shut up, make the fight. And then at least that way, no matter what happened, your profile...
Hear me out here. He knew that Haney, that what Cambosos did to Lopez, excuse me, Haney would have probably done something worse. And at the end of the day, he doesn't like Devin Haney. So you
Look,
know how a lot of these
I
dudes
this
don't
is
agree,
the
want to
but
get
other
there's
thing.
paid.
more.
No,
Right?
wait, wait.
No,
It could
wait,
look, look, look.
hold on.
It could. Wait,
Let
let
me
me say
roll
this.
back to
Let me add this. It had to be George or Loma. Those is the options that he had. It couldn't have
Nah, it
been
wasn't gonna
Haney.
be Loma.
But you know what I mean. They're like, yo, if he wanted to run it back with Loma, I'm
That's what, but that's
100%
why he
sure.
that's why he didn't want to run it back because he knew he couldn't make 135 no more. That
There
and
you go.
he thought George was gonna be an easy fight. Let me get this dude out the way, move up to 140. He never planned on taking Devin Haney at 135. He never planned on coming back. So that's why he's not even interested in a rematch. George offered him the rematch last night. He said, I'm gonna go home, spend time. Man, if he was really about those belts or wanted to stay at 135, let's run it back. But he
No,
wasn't
I get
on
that.
that. He wasn't
No,
on
no,
that.
no.
So
I understand that.
he thought George was gonna be easy. He never
No, no,
planned
no.
on taking
No.
Devin Haney at
I
135. His plan was
I
to
agree.
get
But
rid of
what I'm
George
saying is,
Hold
and
on,
move
let
up
him
to
finish.
140.
Let him finish, base. Let him
Now
finish.
that's it. He was just gonna move up to 140. Go ahead.
All right,
yeah,
now
no.
let me.
I totally agree with you. But what the thing is, if you take Haney now, whether you win or lose, at least you could say you fought another champ, and then you make your excuses about the weight, blah blah blah. At this point, you've just spent a year, lost the whole year of your career, a year and a month, to lose to your mandatory with
That's
no way of
hindsight. He
being able
didn't
to
know
get
that
a
at the
run.
time.
Yeah.
But
Like, look. Let's say this. Let's say this. First, let me read these two super chats. More Morgs says in his last two fights, Tio has been using his size and strength to win. Nothing else, in my opinion. And I do like I said, the Lomachenko win. I'm not gonna make any bones about it. It's more about what Loma didn't do than what Tio did do because the rounds that Tio won, neither one of them was throwing that much. The main difference is that it was Loma's back that was on the ropes, so you give Tio those rounds. But this idea, and I wrestled with this ever since. People were saying that Lopez outboxed Loma. No, he didn't. Loma didn't throw, so he lost the fucking round. That's what happened.
Well,
Yeah,
Jules,
right.
Jules,
Wait,
let me be let me be
right.
devil's advocate. But you just said they both wasn't active right throughout the course of the fight.
Mm-hmm.
Round 12, when Loma pressed, or you could say round 9, when Loma pressed, Tio pressed, and we saw that happen around 11 and 12. So what's to say if that would have happened earlier, Tio would have threw his hands more. You see what I'm saying?
I feel like this, right? This legitimizes, and I'm not a Loma fanboy, right? I'm just looking at it and trying to understand how does the guy that beat Loma lose to George? What has to happen for this to be the case? And what I see is, you know what? Maybe this man's shoulder was fucked up because he been had that injury. That shit is not new. That wasn't the first time I heard that his shoulder was fucked up. And the only way I can explain Loma going in there for the first 5 and he don't throw is something wrong with him? Because he's not throwing.
But at the end of the day, whose fault is that?
Wait. Question. Like, do you think that? Like, I mean, I know we all think that Loma shoulder was injured, but do you think Tio's power made Loma apprehensive to throw? Maybe, or
Yes.
no?
Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Wait. I said this that between Lopez's counters and his power and the fact that Loma don't feel confident enough to throw with conviction because of the shoulder, that's why he didn't fucking throw. This kid hits hard and my shoulder's fucked up. If I throw and the shit don't be right, I'm gonna get put out. So I'm not gonna throw. I'm gonna move. I'm gonna try not to get hit, but I'm not gonna just throw whatever. And that's what it looked like to me.
Once he decided to let his hands go, he could not fucking miss.
He couldn't miss him.
Bro, it's
And that's why I
consistency
said
of defense, bro.
when Loma turned up, the fight wasn't close. Those rounds that Loma won, it wasn't like, well, did Loma win? No, Loma won. And matter of fact, to make a difference, Loma actually had the combinations on Tio.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was bothering him too.
That's why I touched on like Tio. He comes apart at the seams because when Loma was piecing him up, he looked like he didn't know what the hell he was going to do.
Now let me super chat because we about to have a shift. Now we got to talk about the other shit, right? First, Rich Mendez says, I was not a Tio fan because of his old man. Same with Haney. George showed he was the better boxer and maybe tougher as well as we gonna get into that, Rich. We about to talk about that. Believe you me, I got another super chat here I gotta read. All right, here we go. Willie Lynch says, I feel Tio is a good boxer, but George proved he was elite level. Let me explain. You need to be mentally and physically strong, and George ticked all the boxes last night. What Tio lacked was mentality.
I
Now,
agree 100%.
Yep.
now before I pass it to New Country, I gotta just quick monologue, right? You noticing that the American fighters are getting exposed by the foreigners. That's what you like. That's what I see. I see it all around the board. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Tio, like Tio didn't want to go to Australia, but you didn't see George. All right, then I ain't gonna fight you because it ain't in my. No. If you the champion, if that's what I gotta do, then that's what I gotta do, right? You see Josh Taylor. He was willing to go into hostile territory. He was willing to come here for the undisputed. You see Usyk. Every belt that he ever won, that was on the road. He never tried to be like, nah, it got to be where I want it. And what I see is the mentality of the fighters that are coming out of the United States right now. It's not in the right place, man. It's not, because this shit keep happening. It's
I
like,
thought
yo,
Usyk beat Glovatsky in Ukraine to win the WBO.
no, that
cruiserweight
was in
title.
Poland. No, that was
I
in
in
Poland.
Poland?
That was
Oh,
in
shit.
Poland. Look it up. Every
That's the
belt he
Road
ever
Warrior
won.
you're talking about.
That was on the road.
Every belt he ever won was in the other guy's country. Literally.
That's OD. That's
That's
crazy.
OD. All right.
That's some
That's
G shit.
OD.
And what I see, once again, what I see about the American boxer, with the exception of Terrence Crawford, because he already did the road thing and all of that. But what I see about most American boxers now is they're losing their killer instinct, and it's because they're focused on the wrong thing. You got guys, they want to be stars just because they want a belt, bro. Winning a belt don't make you a star, or because you fought a good fighter, that don't make you a star. And Tio, to me, he was focused on the wrong shit. Like, yes, you beat Loma, but chill, bro. What you needed.
Instagram be these people kryptonite, bro. Because at the end of the day, like this goes for everybody in America. We can make this into a more macro example. We have to understand that this Instagram thing shows us the highlights. This Twitter thing shows us the highlights. Facebook shows us the highlights. These people want to be stars because at the end of the day, it's just what they see, and it goes for everybody. But you got to understand, in other countries, they still inculcate people to, if you want to be something,
hold on,
have
Chris.
to do
Let
the
me
work.
champ this shit. What I'm about to say is going to ruffle American feathers, right? But America prides itself on its, like, it's a lot of boxing fans I see, right? That when they talk about American boxing, they like to bring up American ghettos and shit like that. And I'm trying to tell, I'll be saying it all the time. Y'all motherfuckers don't know what's out there, the type of shit that's out there, and the living conditions that a lot of these other cats have. So stop thinking that because you're American, you're better, or because you're American, hold on, or because you're American, you're tougher. No, you're not. If you tougher, it's got to be because of you, not because of where you're from. It's got to be because of you. Because you being from over here, you being from Brooklyn or Florida, that shit don't mean nothing, B.
No,
And we just think that last night.
Is that entitlement that you think that you're deserving of a victory because you're from someplace, when in fact you're not having trained, for the fight. You're basically not showing any moxie or any smarts in there. You're looking pretty dumb.
Like what I see, the attitude that people like, I really see people saying that Teofimo would beat Josh Taylor, and I'm like, y'all motherfuckers is crazy. Even if he,
based off of what we saw last night,
bro, based off what we saw last night, Taylor kill that man.
Dude, after what we saw, dude, if Tio goes up to 140, he's dead meat. He's food for everybody. I think.
Now let me read.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
Hold on, let's get into it, ringside. First, let me read these super chats. Y'all, it was the Illuminati that wanted Tio to sell his soul, and he refused, so that's why he lost. Lennox says, from Tottenham Home of Boxing beats, Tio lost because his dad isn't a good coach. Give Joey Gamache his flowers. He beat Loma because of Joey. I said that. That's why I said that Anthony Joshua needs to get Joey in his corner, because Joey knows how to deal with an Olympic gold medalist that's a southpaw that has great feet. We already seen that. So get
Joey's going to come up with a game plan.
And I told
Joey's going to come up with a game plan and make sure that they stick to it.
I just think that Teofimo should just clean house, rehire him as his trainer, and work on his footwork, because I see him out there, man, and he looks like lost in there, man. Just like lost in an island, And because he's a fucking plan and throw fighter, he's got to wait for you to make your mistake. Make him miss, make him pay. But George Cambosa just kept moving the pocket, and just he didn't have had an answer for his footwork. That's
Now,
something he needs to work on.
let me read this. Ruben Candelario says, "Wasn't Cam's amateur experience and sparring sessions with Pac-Man overlooked? I think they
Yes.
were overlooked. I think they were overlooked." M. Emirati says Tio's dad set him up to fail. His ego pushed Tio to get a knockout from the start, and like an amateur, he let George know his strategy. He failed to adjust, which is why I say that I can't sit here and tell you I agree with you, which is why I say I can't sit here and say that I think Tio is a better boxer than George when it was George's boxing that beat Tio. Remember, ahead of this fight, George is not a big puncher. If you've seen him, he's not a big puncher. But look at how bloodied he left Teofimo. Loma didn't even leave him looking like that. Loma didn't leave him looking like that. Tio was bleeding out of every fucking orifice.
He looked
Fucking
like he
around
got
with
He did
jumped.
that for a whole 12 rounds. Loma took half a fight off. And it goes to show, like, once he faces adversity, the guy has no idea what to do, man. And that's why he needs, like, to me, he needs to clean house.
Now,
Right.
ringside, I know you had some thoughts you wanted to get out. Get them thoughts out.
Hey, hold on. Did you see two things? Did you see somebody mentioned it last night in a fight about Tio having a baby this past Monday and them having family issues over that shit. And then number two, did you see Radio Raheem's interview with his dad, where his dad was just in complete denial that the loss even happened. And the moment that Raheem even acknowledged it, his dad was like, "Don't talk to me like that, bro. We did not lose." He thought he got robbed.
Disrespectful.
Makes sense.
That's
Makes
to
sense.
me.
I mean,
That's
I was
that's
expecting this
Tio's
shit.
downfall. He needs another trainer. I'm not saying get rid of his dad, but he just needs a Joy Gamache. To me, Joy Gamache was a perfect fit. When he got him, that was a perfect fit for me.
I agree with that. I agree. I think Joey's probably one of the more underrated trainers.
Exactly. Yep. They brought in Jorge Rubio, but he was on some happy to be here shit more than he was a trainer. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna say
Well,
this.
another thing that a lot of people aren't looking at is that Kambosos and his team, technically, they kind of won the psych game before the fight started.
Yep,
He got
they
underneath
did.
Tio's skin.
Yes.
And that combined with what was going on with Tio, his ego, his dad, and all the rest, because boxing's a thinking man's sport, he was already on the losing end on that one.
But can we say, country, right? Mental, the mental warfare aside, right? All of that to me sounds like boxing. And all that tells me is that, you know what? George is a better boxer, because I don't want to make this about what Teofimo didn't do. George won the fight. And how did he win the fight? With his fucking boxing, bro.
I agree.
He really outboxed Teofimo. It's not even cap. He really outboxed him.
Tio notoriously has not. I mean, he showed it in this fight, and he showed it at the end of the Loma fight. When he starts getting touched up and everything, he doesn't have an answer.
Yeah.
He lacks a plan B. Sometimes, I mean, as long as he's able to, take the guy with his size, his strength, or whatever skills he may have, he's good. But when he gets in hot water and someone starts taking his stuff, and then they start getting to him, he starts not to be sure of what the hell to do.
He just relies on his athleticism at that point.
I'm gonna touch on something. I believe it was Mark that said it. I don't know if he's still here. Yeah, I think he dipped out. But Mark said it, and I agree with it in the sense that you let that victory over Lomachenko, you let that sit for too long, and what you needed to do was get back out there quick. You know what I mean? Like, get back out there quick. Don't get a big head, and if you get back out there quick, you won't get a big head. You know what I mean? Like, because you got to keep working. That's one fight, and that's one guy. Every fighter ain't Loma, right? But if you sit out for a year and you keep going over that victory in your mind, you really gonna get out there thinking you invincible, that you don't have to work for it, because it's been a year and all you've done in a year was the Loma shit. You got in front of a dude that was just as hungry, if not hungrier than you was when you fought Loma, and look at what happened.
The same thing, the same motivation that gave him to beat Loma is the same thing that got him beat by Kambosos. He thought he didn't respect Loma going in, but then towards the end, he kind of made the rest of his career all about Loma. Like, I beat Loma, I beat Loma, I beat Loma. I'm invincible. Can't nobody beat me. I beat Loma.
And as everybody, people don't even check and actually come to the fact that he's the bigger man in that fight. Loma's coming up from 122 or something.
Well, because
26.
Lomachenko is polarized, right? And this is why, I try not to talk boxing with everybody because I don't got time for the silly shit. Because Lomachenko is polarized, there was a lot of shit he takes about the fight that, T.O. out. But no, he didn't, bro. The only rounds I saw him win was because Loma wasn't throwing. Once he started throwing, Loma started winning rounds. But
No,
the
something.
T.O. But the
Sorry.
T.O. won the fight. Yeah, he won the fight. I'm not going to take that away from him. But don't make it out to be something that it's not just because you don't like Loma.
You
Because
see
that's
that
what I saw.
You see that term outboxing? It's very loosely used, man. People just throw that term about, oh, we outboxed him, we outboxed him. If I'm throwing punches and you're not throwing punches, that's not outboxing.
Agreed.
If we're both fronting and I'm catching you in between the punches and I'm using a bit of some sort of movement and stuff to catch you in angles that you're not getting equipped to, that's outboxing. Outboxing ain't because I'm punching and you're not. So I never agreed with the fact that he outboxed Loma, because once Loma decided that he's going to throw punches, what happened? He clearly won rounds. He marked him up, cut up his face, and basically took over the second half of the fight. So then who outboxed who then? Do you understand? I think
Bass said it best so far. We didn't give George his flowers. I don't think I gave George his flowers. I'm gonna be real. I didn't evaluate him well enough as an opponent. That's one, and his ability to box. That's one. But two, I do think we all overestimated Teofimo's boxing ability based on Loma, and perhaps didn't look at the situation for what it was. They're like, yo, you bigger than him, though. Keep it real, though. You are bigger than him, and that has a role to play, bro. You bigger than him.
What people?
You know who Tio reminds me of? I literally just thought of it right now. Kind of reminds me of Errol Spence. He's like always the naturally bigger guy. One gear, one game plan. And if that game plan doesn't work, what have you got left? Now obviously Spence ain't never lost, so it's like you can't put it the same way, but you can look in certain fights, even with the Porter fight, where he got dragged into Porter's game because he didn't know how to make adjustments.
And that's why I say that I don't think he's that great a boxer. If Porter's forcing you to fight his fight, you're not that great a boxer, because if you was a great boxer, you fight your fight. You don't fight his fight. 100%. You fight his fight. Bud fought his fight. Like, nah, I ain't gonna sit here and trade with you. I'm a shift. I'm a pivot, and I'm a hook off the pivot. I ain't gonna sit here just punching with you because that's what you need. I'm not gonna do that, but that's what Spence did.
You know, it's funny. They give Errol credit for being able to, like, the different abilities, so-called abilities that he's shown versus Lamont Peterson, and then he came out of box Mikey, and then he fought Porter's fight. Like, they give him credit for that, but to me, it's like, nah, he's a limited fighter. He doesn't, outside of those things, he doesn't have anything else. But if I say that, it's hating. You know what I'm saying?
If I say he didn't outbox, and which he didn't, why? Because Mikey's not boxing, so ain't nothing to outbox. He's not doing nothing that you need to outbox him. What Errol did to Mikey was outmuscle him because he's bigger. He threw a lot of punches. Mikey didn't want to throw. He didn't want to box. He just wanted to cover up. He wasn't trying to box. He wasn't trying to land nothing. So how he was boxing?
Mikey won every round. Mikey won every round.
We saw Mikey saw something. I don't think he saw it that night though.
All right, let me go to Rob. I haven't gotten Rob's take on this shit. Rob, you saw the fight. Just very quickly, what's your reaction to what happened, and why do you think it happened the way that it happened?
Right. Well, look, as a Brit, it's very hard for me to root for an Australian, right? It's just part of being a Brit. But the Lopez family had me cheering for Lopez the entire fight. I don't want to talk about how Lopez maybe didn't perform, he didn't make weight, the layoff, because we know George had the exact same layoff pretty much within a few days. You asked earlier, who's the better boxer? Clearly, Kambosos is the better boxer, because a better boxer would have come with a better game plan. A better boxer would have boxed. He came to try and take his head off. He had some vendetta, like he said stuff about my family. I'm going to do this guy in a round. Kambosos' feet were phenomenal last night, getting in and out of range, like double stepping back. He made Lopez look like a rank amateur for quite a lot of that fight. He had him swinging wild. And yeah, maybe on another day, Tio is a better boxer, but it's about a training camp that leads you to the fight night where you have to reach a peak. And Kambosos was peak form last night. He ate some heavy leather as well. Let's just talk about Kambosos' chin.
That's right.
Amazing.
Shit,
right.
he had some big shots, and he just
His
stayed
powers
there.
of
And he kept,
recovery, Rob. His powers
Yeah.
of recovery, Rob. It wasn't just eating hard shots. His leg was fucked up, and he powered through that shit.
Yeah, and
That's
don't
what
forget,
champs
like,
do, baby.
sorry, go on.
Like I was saying, that's what champs do, because at the end of the day, after the 10th round, I thought it was over. I thought Tio would have came back. I think this would have been the comeback of the
Same.
year, but he did not give up.
Yep, same. I thought after the knockdown, and the referee was. I think Mannix made the point. He said if Tio just lets his hands go, gets him in the corner and lets his hands go, the ref's looking at this. He's going to stop this. But Kambosos, like you say, the recovery, and he came firing back. You know, other guys would have shelled up and given the referee every opportunity to. Kambosos kept throwing himself into the danger zone, and I don't know. I was just so proud, and then he just came out in the 11th, won the 11th. But like I say, the whole week, the family, you know, when Senior got in Kambosos' dad's face, all up in his grill, and then when the Aussie dad stepped back at him, he played victim. Did you see that? Did you see that?
I want to ask you about that, Rob. Does that kind of accent the Team Lopez mentality? Because Lopez walked in there. It was Senior that walked in there doing all that, which is why I laughed, by the way. Because it's like, yo, why you acting like a victim when you came in here screaming it? Look, Kambosos! Gonna fuck you up!
It's how the
in one round, you're going out in 1 round. Yeah,
it's how those Karens be acting.
Yo, really, it was some Karen shit.
It's like that. It's basically it's that you know, our shit don't stink. You can't touch us. Look who we are. We're this and that. And two fucking tough Aussies got in your face, and you didn't like it.
And I like
They were too big for their own egos. Him and his dad were too big for
the Lopez's. They don't like people standing up to them. They don't.
Exactly.
They don't.
Bullies don't like it. That's what I said. I tweeted it out. I said, "Oh look, you got up in the
Tio's
guy's grill."
Tio's got the mentality of a bully. This is why I said, like, when he gets touched up and he gets hit, he falls apart. He doesn't know what to do. Like he goes into bitch mode. He really does.
All right, let me
You
read
can
the
tell by the
super
look
chat.
of confusion on his face.
Let me read the super chat.
Can we just give a shout out to the ref, who, when David Diamante said "and still undefeated," he assumed Kambosos already lost. He raised Tio's hand, and then Diamante.
Shit!
And the new. And one thing I just want to get off my chest. One thing can I just get off my chest before you go to the super
that
chat?
was really
Hold on. Let
Tio,
Rob
man.
talk. Let Rob talk.
Just before you go to this super chat, one of my big bugbears in boxing, I swear to God, they went and the new, and some fucking woman from the WBC threw a t-shirt over his head to fucking brand him up with all the WBC bullshit, and he hadn't even been lifted or hugged his father yet. I'm like, get the fuck off with that t-shirt.
It's the business. Wait, don't nobody say nothing. The WBC going I ain't even mad at them at this point, because at this point it's a hustle, and I recognize it and I respect it. Like, yo, we got to get this money, bro. We got to get this money, B.
They transferred that non-transferable title, right?
We got to get this money, bro. I got to get it. You got to get it. We all got it. Everybody on this panel got to get this money. All right, so let's be real. And still says, can you do an interview with Dyer Bet Talk? You mean Dwyer? I want some money. Did Dwyer pick Kambosos? Somebody tell me in the chat. Drew says the delusion. Tio Senior said this in an interview. They won all the rounds and was robbed. Tio is still the people's champ, and they will sell out arenas. Yo, look,
that's that Radio Raheem interview.
What y'all think? Like Tio Fimo said he won 10 rounds to 2.
I don't understand it.
Guys, can I ask you guys a question?
I think Tio won 4 rounds. Can I say that? I think Tio won 4 rounds.
Can I ask
Yeah,
you
but
guys a
did you
question?
did you
Like
and
That's
then did
it.
you hear
That's all he won.
Cambosis when Tio said, I won 10-2. I think Manic said, you think you won? And he was like, yeah, I won 10 rounds to 2. Cambosis said, yeah, you need to move up, bro. There's something wrong. Like,
He
yeah,
said,
No, what was
Hey,
y'all
can I
some
ask you
crazy
guys
delusional
something?
shit.
Yeah,
about
can I
Tio,
talk?
Dad told him he won 10-2. That's why his dad told him he won
what was
10-2.
classic? What was classic was when Cambosis told Tio he was delusional and that he lost the fight, and that was
yeah.
classic of him to do, of Tio to do that, because I mean it just shows how delusional he really is.
I
What,
think
what makes him
look,
delusional?
I
He
think he
said, "I'm not a
wasn't
sore
shocked.
loser. I'm not a sore loser, but I'm not here to make it be." You just did that. You just made
Uh,
excuses.
Yep.
I think honestly, if you go back and you watch that, right? I think he wasn't shocked. That's kind of like the reaction that people have when somebody died at the hospital. They telling you like, yo, bro, it's a wrap, yo, and you like, nah. Like, yo,
You
you
can't be.
wildin', my guy.
Why
Like,
you guys
chill.
why you guys live in a hospital, yo? You are so morbid, bro. What is
It's
wrong
dark.
with
Look, yo, Chris. Look, man, I'm trying to talk to you, B. It's dark places on this planet that I have been to. That's all I'm saying, B. And that's what I
And I've
seen.
been,
I recognized it. I
Yo,
and I've been
recognized
down
it.
you.
And like,
he got sent to Harlem Hospital. Oh, nah, he dead, bro.
chill, B. Chill, B.
Yeah,
Stop talking,
he's
son.
dead.
Stop talking, son. And
Like
still,
I,
after I watched the fight and weigh in, I saw Tio's was relieved to make
Yep.
135 pounds. I placed my bet. So I mean, like, I don't. Let me put it this way. Let's say Tio was drained, and let's say that Tio didn't prepare properly, and let's say that everything we've said about Tio is true. For me, I'm still not going to take it away from George because George
did his
boxed,
job.
he prepared, and he boxed, and Tio did not. And that's and
Right.
I don't
Bottom
want to
line.
be that dude that like, yeah, it's not that George beat Tio, it's that Tio. No, you know what? George beat Tio. George
Yep.
I've
beat
got
Yes,
Tio.
he did.
100.
Yes, he did.
I've got a question for the
Superior
panel.
skills.
Who thinks that George will be able to box better than how he boxed last night moving forward, or is that the best performance he's ever going to have in his career?
That's
Yo,
the
I
best
don't know.
performance he's ever going to have.
let me be real with you.
Confidence is a big thing.
This is a relay exclusive. Devin Haney's the next undisputed champion.
Yep.
You heard it here
Oh, for
first.
sure.
Yeah.
Eddie
Yep.
Hearn, he's already trying to set that up. He said
Yep.
after JoJo, if he gets past JoJo, they're gonna do that in March sometime.
And
Lou
I feel
Lou DiBella.
I
I'm telling
got
you,
a
Lou
rant.
DiBella's in the way.
I got a rant because I've been getting so much shit for Devin Haney, and I've been telling y'all don't give him credit, right? Y'all keep saying he didn't fight him, and they don't want to fight him, bro. All right, they don't want to fight him. Now Loma has hit the canvas. Teofimo has hit the canvas. You know who didn't hit the canvas?
Devin Haney.
Devin Haney. And you now and I hate the bullshit because I'm not with the bullshit. But if they make that fight, right? If you don't think Devin Haney's a good boxer, then bet on George. I don't want to hear it. Call your bookie and bet on George. Because if you don't, you're fucking full of shit. I'm
Hey,
telling
Julius,
you.
can I talk? Can I talk after you?
Wait. I'm just telling you. I gotta hear all this bullshit about Devin ain't no good and he ain't got no resume and he an email champ. All right, if you really feel that way, when he fights George, bet on George. Otherwise, you full of shit. What you did? You spent 2-3 years talking shit about this young man so that you could not bet against him? I thought he wasn't shit. I thought he sucked. I bet you that won't happen to Devin.
They'll all be picking JoJo next week, right?
I mean, I already see that some people are picking JoJo. I don't see how they could pick JoJo because I'm not fully convinced that JoJo beat Javier. Go back and watch that fight.
Careful, Ring. It's the year of upsets.
Listen.
Gary Russell said JoJo gonna knock this nigga out.
You'll see.
Yeah,
You'll
This
see.
is what I was gonna say though.
JoJo
Gary Russell.
Gary's just saying that because he beat. Gary's just saying that because he beat JoJo. That's all. That's why he's saying that.
Just let me know when Gary Russell doesn't say something, all right? And then I'm
exactly.
Definitely.
We need a notification for that on my phone. Gary
Breaking
Russell
news.
was quiet.
Breaking news. Gary Russell has no opinion on something. Fuck.
Ring, can we touch on something else? What is if Tio moves to 140? What does he do? Do you think he's making noise up there?
Look. The reason that I'm staying away from that right now is because I need to let the gears in my brain work. Because I'm telling you right now, I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow Top Rank drop him. He has no value.
Hey, why was I thinking that though? That's perfect. I
You think
think we'll
Bob gonna
get
shovel?
rid
You
of
think
him.
Bob gonna
I
put him
think
on
that's
the
what
shovel?
Top Rank's gonna do.
Look
He's
at
been
what they
paid on
did.
their side the whole year.
Look at what they did to Rodriguez, bro. They dropped him right after he lost to Kenny Sims. They dropped him just like that.
Listen. Ring. Just to help your gears in your brain. Lopez Senior said to Radio Raheem, like, this is all DAZN's fault. They shouldn't have never moved away from Top Rank. Even though they pushed the purse bid and allowed it to go to purse bid. It's DAZN's fault. Like Eddie Hearn on his
Same
bullshit.
interview,
But
Joe. Same one I'm telling you about.
How do you leave?
Oh my
That
God!
he got drafted in the first round, right? Hey guys,
It's the
but listen. He's still
Tio
of the
won the first
opinion.
round.
Senior's still of the opinion, and apparently, like, the deal with the re-up with ESPN is 2 pay-per-view fights on ESPN and then an ESPN card. So tell me, off the back of this, knowing that his son lost all those titles, what are those 2 pay-per-view fights for Teofimo Lopez on ESPN?
Yo, look, I'm telling you the truth. I wouldn't be surprised if Top Rank drops him because, for starters, he never had marquee value. He was gonna get it, but he fucked it up. He didn't have it. You're not a ticket seller, bro. And your biggest fight, that wasn't even a pay-per-view. You fucked it up for yourself, right? So if you, Bob, I know y'all not gonna come over here thinking I'm gonna give y'all $2-3 million. You better chill. Now, either you gonna take this million and let Loma beat your ass, or you could get the fuck on. You can get the fuck on.
That was like the pre-fight stuff when they said, "Oh, there's an agreement between the camps with Haney." I said, "Is there an agreement with Bob? Because is Bob gonna fucking pay that money?"
And I said
how
that.
expensive?
I said that, bro. I'm like, look, I don't believe that. I said I don't believe Haney's next because Haney makes great money, right? Bob is not gonna give him great money because he ain't even.
Bob's not gonna. Bob's not gonna send Tio over to fight Haney on DAZN. So
exactly,
not gonna happen. Well, it's not anyway.
Shit, he might want to cash him out now.
In regards to Lopez Sr., I never thought I'd see anybody that was as bad as Angel Garcia until now.
Yes.
Oh, no, we've been
he
saying that,
rivals
man.
Angel Garcia, man.
No, he's worse. He's worse, bro. He's worse.
Even Angel know when to, like, you know what? I'm on the camera a little bit too much. Let me get out of here. Motherfucking Tio dad, yeah, he do. Even a little more than Tio. Tio dad was hamming it up like a motherfucking Thanksgiving ham I got in the fridge right now. Be like, bro, chill. You not fighting shit. Your son is fighting. You not fighting. Chill.
Yeah, it's the senior show, right? He does love himself on that camera.
Yo, even John Fury knows when to wrap it up. Like, hey, gents, all right, go get out of here.
I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure John knows where the line is.
Nah, even John, I'm just saying they all bad. But even John,
BT had to issue a formal apology because of John. Just recently.
John was talking greasy.
Because of that press conference.
John started shaking his fist at the TV with Jake. Like, he was really like that. Like, he was about to deck the TV. Like, yo, what you said?
Yeah.
He said he's gonna bend over Jake's girl and
do it like a dog. He's gonna bend her over and do it like a dog.
He's gonna bend her over and do it like a dog.
And then Jake
how
said,
you gonna size up a TV, my guy? Like, you really, like, yo, you better chill. Like, what you gonna do?
Pull him through the screen.
He'll actually punch that shit if he gets too mad.
Yo, imagine if he did. Imagine if he
did. He said something to Jake, and Jake was like, Jake said something like, "Suck my dick." He said, "You haven't got a dick. You got a gash." And it's like, this is on BT Sport right now.
You know what? You right. Let me take that because any cat that starts sizing up a TV from how mad he, like, you don't got no chill button. Be like, you got no chill button. Be like, you gonna punch this TV? Because he's in America right now. He's not here.
He's like one of those. You know when dogs watch the TV and like something goes off the screen and they look to the side of the screen to see if it's come out the side of the TV set.
Bro, but just because I don't really want to get into unpacking what might happen next, except for one thing, right? Eddie Hearn has between now and the Isaac Cruz fight for Gervonta Davis to sign George Kambosos. And if he wants to get into the George Kambosos business for Devin Haney, that's his window. Because if he doesn't, Gervonta Davis is going to try to capitalize.
Does Lou DiBella want to get in the Al Hayman business?
No, but it's not that. It's more along the lines they're giving him 48 hours after the Cruz fight to decide what belt he wants, right? If he decides he wants the lightweight belt, the WBA is going to order the fight. And George won't have a choice. It's either you're going to fight him or you're going to forfeit the belt. Now, if you want to avert all of that, right? If you want to avert all of that, you sign George, and I guarantee you, he won't go. Davis won't go after him.
Matchroom will win that bid.
Matchroom will win the bid, and Mayweather Promotions knows that. They're like, yo, we don't want to get into a bidding war with them because they'll win the bid, and Davis will have to fight on his own. We don't want that.
What you waiting on, Eddie? You better hurry your ass up, bro.
Sign him. You got a week. You got a little over a week to sign him. You're a little over a week.
Sign Alicia too while you at it.
Shit.
Gonna A-side if they're gonna A-side tank for this potential disputed with Kambosos, you're gonna have to take money from their slush fund from the fighter purses.
I just want to say to hold on, I'm gonna read the super chats. I just want to say, and still, he made me proud to be Australian. I don't talk about my Australian heritage that much. I'm proud to be Australian here today in front of you good people.
Me too. I woke up this morning, I went crikey.
Crikey. My Vegemite. TO1 Kambosos, let's run it back. TO chill. I need to be with my family. Talk about it. You know what I'm saying?
He going to give a rematch in Australia. I think he was serious about that shit too, man.
Shout out to New South Wales and Sydney, right? You know what I'm saying? Home of the fighters. Ebony Bridges, Shannon O'Connell, George Kambosos, Tim Zhu. It's rocking out there, B. I might have to go out there, B. It's rocking.
So Australia, the Australians killing right now, bro.
ZMM, I appreciate you, bro. Willie Lynch says karma is a circle. T.O. feeling what Loma felt right now. The difference is Loma wanted a rematch. T.O. don't.
Yeah, I guess you could say Kambosos.
Y'all wonder why?
No, Dwyer didn't pick Kambosos, but still, Dwyer is good money. I love Dwyer. He be wrong, but it's not always about being wrong and right. Sometimes it's about the perspective. And like what I like about him is most other fight predictions, they don't really look at both fighters. They just talk about one fighter and what that fighter do good, but they don't look at both guys. What I've always liked about Dwyer is he does evaluate both guys. Like he's looking at them both. He ain't just looking at one of them. Shout out to Dwyer, one of the first YouTube boxing channels I ever subscribed to. Still love the videos. You're not a stranger to me, bro. Not a stranger. You're not just a stranger with a second opinion online. That's Dwyer, B.
Hey,
Napoli says, go ahead, Russ. I mean, go ahead, Country.
You know what I thought was ridiculous was right after Kambosos won, Ryan Garcia talking about, I'm going to fight Kambosos next.
Oh.
It's like, sit your ass down, man.
Country, I'm going to save that for last. We going to get to that. You know, like, we going to get to that.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, yo, the fucking nerve of this guy, yo.
He has no shame. He's another one that's no shame. He really don't.
He has no shame,
Mr. Mental Breakdown, YouTube following ass, no, non-boxing, no.
Mister, I was only able to box. I was only able to box once in 2021 because I had a Mariah Carey moment. Like, yo, be quiet, bro. Chill. Napoli says, I wonder what Josh Taylor's thinking. I hope George makes them come to Australia for the belts. I think Josh Taylor's thinking or at least what I was thinking. They're like, yo, I don't know why this kid talking so much, but I ain't no motherfucking featherweight. Whatever you did to that featherweight, that's a featherweight. I am not a featherweight. So why you talking crazy to me? You think, yo, his dad, he's scared of my son. He's like, why does Josh really though? You think Josh Taylor's scared of your son? He fought Regis Prograde. From what I saw, Regis would have knocked your son out. Who think Teofimo before yesterday, right? Who thought Teofimo would beat Regis Prograde? Because I didn't.
I didn't
either.
I did, bro.
You thought he would beat him?
Yeah, I thought T.O. would give Regis a run for his money.
I'm gonna say this. Regis is exceptionally strong, right? He's like the dude hit hard.
I've
right?
seen him. You know, I've been in there with him. You know, I've been to his house. You know, I fuck with Regis.
Regis to me is probably the most dangerous guy at 140.
No, he is.
Josh Taylor.
He is.
It's
But
too.
Regis also gets hit a lot, and Regis is more of an inside fighter. And because of T.O.'s boxing ability, ironically, I felt that T.O. would be able to keep him on the outside and hurt him.
I'm gonna go as far as saying that I'm not a big fan of the shoulder roll. I only like when Floyd and James did it, and Bernard obviously. But all these young cats that roll it off the shoulder, I don't like it, except Regis.
I
No,
agree.
another motherfucker that fought that Josh Taylor in the World Boxing Super Series, they would have got knocked out. What he did, he gave Josh a fucking hematoma, and he was rolling with the punches. To me, it's two of the most dangerous guys at 140. Regis Prograis, Jose Zapata. Dangerous. And from what I see, T.O. would have got knocked out by Regis. That's what I see. Like, bro, you're not going to take them. You got up from George's right hand. You wouldn't have got up from Regis's left hand.
What about his Zapata left, the one he slept Vargas with?
Bro, you see what Zapata out here doing to people, man. Like, you see what he out here doing to people. Like,
hey, you don't think T.O. would be better at 140? You don't think he'd be more explosive, more powerful? You don't think, you know what I'm saying?
I'm going to say this. Before the loss, I would have said, yes, I feel 140 will be a better, healthier weight for him. But now because of the psychological damage, and rest assured, there's psychological damage.
For sure.
I do not know. You can't, like, he just went from the mountaintop to the base of the mountain in 1 year. From the mountaintop to the base of the mountain. Those is dramatic highs and lows. That's night and day right there. And because he's young, he don't have the mental fortitude. Having taken losses in life, because that's what comes with age. You learn to take your losses graciously if you have to take a loss.
His body language last night said it all.
Boy, he's delusional. His dad is delusional. His dad is enabling.
You can see him in the corners. You can see the way he was just sitting down. His his body language was trash. Like he knew he was losing last night.
I mean, it's like
he wasn't making no easy on him.
I mean, even after the fight, when George came over to congratulate him, it's like he's looking around like you know, like and not like you know, not comfortable. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what to think. I don't know what I'm doing. And George is just trying to talk to him and just say, man, I respect you. Did this and that. Teal's looking around like he's kind of panicking. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna tell you what, because George has a good father, because I didn't see much of George's father, but what I saw tells me, okay, he's a guy that thinks like me. This is my son moment. It's not about me. Y'all need to have this camera all in my fucking face because it's not about me. It's about my son. What they need to tell George, yo, George, if you want to get the most out of this shit, B, don't give in to the hype, bro. Don't do it. Work. The work is not done because you beat Teofimo. Everybody's coming after you now. Stay on your P's and Q's because they all coming after you now. Shakur coming after you now. Haney coming after you now. Ryan talking about you. Lomachenko gonna want you. He gonna want you. Stay on your P's and Q's. Don't end up like Teofimo because he drank the fucking Kool-Aid. He drank that shit for a year. Now he got diabetes.
Thanks.
You know something, Ring? I think George Kambosos Jr. to me showed more. He's more of a top rank fighter than Teofimo. You know where he's from? Sparta.
From Sparta, yo.
He's Greek.
Nah, he's legit Greek. Like that's not even cap. Like he's legit Greek.
And he Greeked also Teofimo's plans. He Greeked them.
He made me proud to be a Greek, yo. I'm telling you, yo. Taking
No
all the
loot.
glory. Taking all the glory.
Makes me proud to be both. I'm Greek and Australian.
Exactly. Me three. What about you, Virtuoso? You from Greece?
No, but I love gyros.
I dig it.
So I'm considered Greek.
I dig it. Nah, but real shit, they need to talk to him because if you see these dramatic highs and lows, I remember when Julian J. Rock Williams beat Jarrett Hurd, right? You spending too much time on a victory like the work is done. The work is not done. What you just did was paint a target on your back. He has that fight in Philly, he loses the fucking fight. Well, really, before that, Jarrett Hurd had a hometown fight, Baltimore, Maryland. Loses the fucking fight. Why? You focus on the wrong thing. Be like, you need to focus. Be like, you got the belts and all of that, and that's great. But you got to focus because you a target now. He loses the fight. Julian take the belts from him. Then fucking Banana take the belts from fucking Julian. Then Charlo take the belts from him. It's like, yo, be like,
focus. The belts play musical chairs.
It is like, focus up, bro. Focus up because it's not winning the big fight. It's keeping the belts, bro. That's where the money at. Reigning as a champion and keeping the belts because you know George got less than Teofimo did for the fight, obviously, right? So if you want to keep getting the lion's share of the pot moving forward, forget about the Teofimo fight. It's done. Forget about that fight. Don't even celebrate it. Bust a couple nuts with your joint, right? And get back in the gym and keep working, because everybody want what you got right now. They all talking about you right now. You got to be ready for them cats. Teofimo wasn't ready for you. You need to be
Shakur
ready for
said he
him.
will go to Australia for that smoke. So at the end of the day, everybody see him as food. So if he doesn't, hunker down like you're saying,
Time 11:38.
I dig it. It's 11:38. What I'm saying is, yo, a lot of cats, they'll get a big win. I think Usyk said it the best, because he's not like what he said. Yo, I'm chilling with my son, and I like the quiet. B. I ain't out here doing wild interviews. I ain't out here saying a bunch of shit while I know the work is not over. That's the Capricorn mentality, son. The work is not over. Because I won, that don't mean the work is over. I beat him, but now I gotta beat him, and him. The work is not over.
Is Georgia Capricorn?
I don't think so. He might be though, because he's a fucking winner. You know what I'm saying? Fucking winner.
He's a Gemini.
Fucking shit. Them Geminis is alright, B. They alright. I fuck with Tauruses and Arieses and Virgoses and Scorpioses.
Virgo, the only ones I like. Gemini, my whole family Geminis. I don't like Gemini. Gemini and Leo. They're my two least favorite.
I ain't gonna lie, Leo. I love my sister to death. I really do. But them Leos, man, it's just it's hard out here, man. It's hard out here. But them Scorpios, them Virgos, them Tauruses, them Arieses, sometimes them Geminis, sometimes.
Pisces.
Pisces ain't bad. Pisces just too emotional, B. Like they got highs and lows like a mother. Like, yo, chill, B. Just chill. Measure your approach.
They're wet. That's what.
Let me read the super chats. I hope George makes them come to Australia for the belts. Ring, you said it during the fight. Tio and his dad had no game plan for the fight. They just wanted to walk through him. Do you think if they respect Cambo? Do you think if they had more respect for Cambosos, he could have won? Yes, but I don't want to take nothing away from George. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to sit here and say, well, if Tio would have, nah. George won, and he outboxed Tio. Period. He outboxed him. Period. He made that motherfucker bleed like a Hayman. All right, and he did that with his boxing. Whatever.
Like his face got curb stomped.
Yeah, he looked like he got jumped.
Bro, real shit. He did look like he got jumped. Drew says DeBella and George going to go with who can offer DeBella TV dates. That's motherfucking Matchroom, bro. Because Top Rank only really wants you for one fight. Mayweather Promotions only wants you for one fight. They want somebody to take those belts from you. Whereas if you sign with Matchroom, get a multi-fight deal, bro, you'll get a chance to make some money and you'll get a big fight.
And all of his women from the stable that the Bella's got, they'll all get dates as well, because Eddie loves to put on the women's fight. So
exactly. Josh Lopez says, Tio, you want to run it back with Cambosos? I'm going to take some time and buy a horse and go chill with Spence. Interesting development. If he would have lost to Haney, it would have looked as bad. Dirty Red says, Regis would, in my opinion, would have gave Tio what we call down south the Thunder Cookies. Yo, I'm stealing that. The Thunder Cookies. Yo, Dirty Red, I appreciate you, bro, because I'm still the Thunder Cookies. I like how that sounds.
That sounds like a strain of weed, bro.
The Thunder Cookies, B.
Yo, let me get a quart of the Thunder Cookies.
I'm gonna keep it real with you. Subriel Matias throws good straight punches, and he's very strong. But maybe I'm just a little bit too high on Regis. But I go on Regis. Counter shot wins by knockout. I know the thing about Regis is I know that Regis could deal with a big puncher because he fought Josh. Subriel Matias, has he dealt with a big puncher? Has he dealt with a Subriel Matias type of guy? I haven't seen that, so I'm leaning towards Regis Prograrius. Regis is the dude. I don't give a fuck, and his time is coming.
Hey, why you like Regis so much?
Honestly, he's a counterpuncher, and I'm real big on counterpunches. Right, that's a style that I really like to watch, which is why I like James Toney. I feel that his shoulder roll is better than Teofimo's. He has a better shoulder roll than most other guys that use the shoulder roll. He has a destructive power that's not it's not angling. It's not smoke and mirrors. It's real, B. Ivan Redcatch did not want to be in there with this man. He went 12 rounds with Danny Garcia at 147. But when Regis touched him up, nah, B, I got to get out of here.
He want to fake a nut shot.
Yeah,
I
if I'm
got to find a way out of here, B.
if
Like,
I'm
I got to.
Tony, I'm gonna try to teach these fellas how to shoulder roll, make some money on the side.
On top of that, I like Regis' character. He really don't talk a lot of shit. Like, he talked the right shit, but not a lot of shit. Not like yo, you
Yeah,
talking
he talks the right shit. He talks the right shit.
Yeah,
he talked the right
I'm
shit.
gonna let
like,
him know about you. I'm probably gonna go to his house on Wednesday. I'm gonna let him know about you.
let's get Regis on here so we can celebrate Regis Prograrius. Rugaroo! That's my
I think Regis would have, if he fought Adrian Broner, he would have knocked him out.
Yo, look, I said it the other day. It's not cap. It's not cap. It's not revisionist history. I said it the other day. If it's Regis and T.O., I go Regis, bro. I'm not even like that's not a hard pick for me at all.
Regis is just a game fighter, bro. He's very motivated, man. And then like if you hit him, bro, that just motivates him to hit you harder.
And Regis,
I've seen it. I've seen Regis in sparring. I've seen it.
Oh, and he's got a chin.
We know he got a chin because he fucking went in a 12-round war, right? And this is why I say the fights mean more to me than anything else. He got in a 12-round war with Josh Taylor and gave him everything. Like, that's the toughest fight I ever seen Josh in. That was tougher than a Ramirez fight. That was definitely tougher than Baranchik. Definitely way tougher than Ryan Martin. Like, bro, Regis gave him the business, B. If not for that, Regis would be.
What you think that rematch looks like?
I think Josh is getting better. So I think it might go the same way.
Okay,
because
that's
enough
said. Enough said.
They're both mid-range to inside fighters. They're both that's where they do their best work. But I'm gonna say what I think Josh has that Regis doesn't have as good is Josh has better feet. He can get in and out a little easier than Regis, mostly because he's a tall cat though too. So he got long strides, but he get in and out a little better, and I think that's the difference. But still, if Josh Taylor move up, who gonna stop Regis from winning them belts? Somebody tell me, please.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Who? Only ones I could think of is Subriel Matias, who I would pick Regis to beat, and Jose Zapata, who's a consummate professional. And I think Zapata's great. I think the way he knocked out Vargas was great and all of that. That's great, but that's Vargas, B. That's not Regis, B. That was Vargas.
And we still kind of don't know about Zapata because, like, is he still? Do you think he's still damaged goods after the Baranchik fight or no?
I said this after the Vargas fight. When you knock a dude out in one round, you're not leaving me with nothing to reflect upon. Like, I can't, like, you knock the dude out in one round. There's nothing for me to really look at to see how was your timing, how was your jab, how was your movement, how was your punch resistance. We can't look at none of that because the fucking fight only lasted one round.
Mm-hmm. But he gets to that with Regis, we'll find out.
If Regis hit him, B, I'm telling you, and I like Jose. Don't get it twisted. I like Jose, but if Regis hit that dude, nah, B. Nah, B. It's a wrap. Don't let that dude hit you, B. Don't let that fucking dude hit you, B. Willie Lynch says Ryan, the Diva Garcia needs. Yo, I'm sick of that kid. He wants to fight George, but couldn't fight. He don't want to fight George, bro. He don't want to fight George. Like, that's cap. Not
riding.
Yeah, like, he don't want that fight. Papafimo is the enduring Angel Garcia. Yes, he is. And still, I got JoJo Diaz beating Devin. Yo, we make a small bet, bro. I got $20 on Devin. $20. And y'all know I'm a man of my word. Cash App it. Devin jab going to take away a lot of shit from JoJo. A lot of that funny shit, that jab would take all that shit away. Watch. And still says Camboso said to T.O., the belts are your curse. Fuck belts. Aye. Shout out to Catacor. Oh, Catacor with the. You ain't had to do that, Cat. Jesus Christ. The takeover needs a new makeover. Senior could not direct Lopez Camboso's preparation before the fight and determination during were the key factors. Lopez was too emotional. Email Champ, the dream about to be undisputed and make these haters mad. I said it, Cat. I said it. I think Devin Haney about to be undisputed. I'm not even exact. That's what I think about to happen.
Cat, shout out for using my slogan.
Yo, B. Gentlemen, it's been a wonderful morning. I'm still in shock. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I'm still in shock. I can't believe it. But
I'm getting to work work it off still.
I gotta watch the fight 2, maybe 3 more times before I really believe it, because I'm still in shock. But wow, B, what?
So am I,
Shout out,
Rain, man. I can't wait till the next episode of the relay, man. You dropping that today, right?
of course, but it's like I'm trying to work the gears in my brain to, all right, what I'm gonna talk about first, the boxing or the intangibles? Because to me, the intangibles is what has everybody talking. Like, damn, dog, you spent 12 months talking shit to everybody, talking shit to Devin, talking shit to Josh, like you was talking shit to everybody.
You might need 2 videos to cover that.
He said he's not gonna talk shit no more.
I hope
That's
he
what he
don't.
said yesterday. He said he's not gonna name drop no more. He's not gonna talk shit no more. He's just gonna keep his head down and just work.
Yo, that's what he should have did from the beginning, bro. I felt like low
It
key.
just didn't have to happen for you to change your ways, man. You know what I mean?
Now I'm gonna go around the panel
But
and
you
ask
can't change his
Shada-
dad. His dad is still gonna be his dad.
Ring. Do you feel bad for Teofimo?
Do I feel bad for T.O.?
Yeah, poor guy.
Nah, it's boxing, bro. It is what it is, bro. He's gonna be all right. It is what, you know what I'm saying? I like T.O., bro. I'm from Honduras. I like T.O., bro.
Oh shit.
He gonna be all right. What, he 23? He gonna move up to 140. You know what I'm saying? Get some belts up there. He gonna be all right. He gonna get his money. Top rank probably drop him, but I mean, it's gonna be all right.
Oh shit, y'all, yo, this year is wild, B. Yo, Jay, you feel bad for T.O.?
Yes and no. Yes, because it's just that I see a young fighter, a talented fighter, very, very who had a lot of potential, and he just got too big for his boots. I think too much came too soon,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of just came crashing down on him too fast. And no, because he acted like an ass, a lot like with his dad, and he should have just had a little bit more respect. Him and his dad, they don't act like professionals.
They don't.
They
But
don't have. They have zero class.
I mean, I guess because it's the hurt business, we
Yeah.
don't expect guys to be all prim and proper. But it's just when you talk a lot of shit, right? When
Yeah.
you talk a lot of shit, I mean, country. Do you feel bad for T.O.?
Hell no.
So that's
know
3
why?
no's.
You know why? Because he was too much of a willing participant in his own egocentricity along with his father. He was being a big diva. He didn't fight for over a year and a half. He didn't prepare right for this fight. He thought he was going to walk through him. He talked way too much shit to everybody, like you just said, calling out people he had no business calling out. All this shit blew up in his face, and it was because of him. So I don't feel sorry for him.
That's 3 no's. I'm gonna go to base. Base. Do you feel bad for T.O.?
Nah, he got more money than me. What am I feeling bad for him for?
He's got more money than me.
If that ain't the most Capricorn, if that is not the most Capricorn, you know what the fuck? I feel $1 million. I'm gonna feel bad for him.
Yeah, I've got my own problems to worry about. But the one thing I will say, right, and it ain't even about feeling bad. Like, at the end of the day, you're a grown man, so you gotta handle your stuff how you handle your stuff. But what I do think is that he ain't been raised correctly, because if you look at his dad is not the person you want raising you to teach you how to be a man. That's the problem.
That's true. That is
so. I might have a little modicum of solace for him for that, but no, overall, like, you did it to yourself, so you just gotta deal with it.
Virtuoso, can you find it in your heart to feel bad for T.O., or is it gonna be 5 no's?
Bro, hardly, man. Cause listen, I'm a New Yorker and I'm also half Honduran, but like, what the fuck, bro? You put us through all that shit, right? Just to come up with that performance, man. And it's like, bro, listen, if you're gonna do anything, before anything else, man, just clean house, man. Clean yourself up. Don't look at your father and say, hey man, we won that fight. No. You gotta come clean, bro. And just look yourself in the mirror. That's the first step. And that's how he has to show maturity. Until then, he has to show that he's taking care of his career more seriously. That's how he gets my respect.
So is there gonna be should we get ready for glove gate, or like shoulder gate, toe gate, finger gate?
I'm prepared for whatever. I mean, do y'all want to hear a mic drop right quick? I saw a tweet yesterday that said that, y'all remember when Teofimo called Deontay Wilder a bitch making excuses.
Oh my!
How about that? How about that for you?
Shit, and
Yo,
it came
How about
back.
that for
Hey,
you,
you seen
gentlemen?
Mickey Bay
The
made a post like
boomerang.
that.
yo, I mean,
Mic
look,
drop. Mic
I'm
drop.
I'm trying to get y'all hip to something that you might not know. The universe is listening. Be nice just for the sake of being nice. Don't talk a lot of shit. The universe has a cruel sense of humor.
Yes,
Don't
it
do it. Don't
does.
do it. The
I'm
universe
going
is
to.
listening. Be
It's the
nice.
boomerang.
Love thy neighbor. It's in there for a reason.
Yep.
What
Love thy
goes around
neighbor.
comes around.
Trying to tell, like, cause if that ain't a motherfucking 180, I don't know what is, bro. I don't know what is.
I mean, as
So
far as Tiafimo having millions of dollars, I don't think so because his wife's divorcing him. She's taking half. So,
Oh my
you know,
dude,
no.
I'm sorry.
That's gonna
Right.
send him into a down spiral.
I don't mean to laugh. I'm
You
sorry.
can't have that, bro.
he about to be on Shane Mosley Island, B.
When she leave
Shane
your
Mosley,
ass, she gonna
the
leave with half.
alimony.
18 years. 18.
Yo, and if he really getting a divorce, I heard that his family don't even like that chick. He about to find out why they don't like that. Yo, it's wild out here, B. Look, I'm gonna
That's
pray for
another
that.
influencer, bro. That's another IG model. That's the case.
Listen, B. Let me post the shit right here, B, so that everybody know. All right. Pray for Fimo. Post that shit right there, then we gonna put it right here. Pray for Fimo. Pray for Fimo, B.
He's something else, man.
Let's
Pray
get
for
it
Fimo.
cracking, bro.
I'm
Because he
gonna chat to you next time. Yeah, bless.
I'm gonna go on Punch Those Live, you know, and
Adios.
get that hashtag trending. You know, I'm gonna go to Tony's review and send my apologies to him because he had it right.
Yeah,
Yo.
Tony's reviews had this shit spot on, bro.
Man, Tony be
It's just a
knowing his
knockout,
shit.
though.
Tony be know. You know what? He came on here and said that. He said that he think George gonna beat him. I remember that he said that.
See, Ring, I think you and him kind of have like a mental link because when you made the prediction that Kenny was going to throw the towel in, that he was spot on with his prediction for this fight. It's like y'all got crystal balls or something.
It's like the
Yeah,
motherfucking you seen fucking Dragon Ball Z when they do the shit. Son.
Yeah.
That shit. Son. It's that shit, bro.
Hey, Jules Loki, I didn't have no doubt in my mind till you said something about Teofimo possibly losing to Cambosos.
You know how they see how the Z fighters they see the fight like in super speed. That's y'all. That's you. That's y'all. You know, boxing YouTube. You know, content creators. You know, y'all see what y'all see the subtleties of it.
Let me say this. The difference. Why can Floyd, for example, be out for 2 years and come back and he's good? Because in reality, Floyd is not relying on speed or reflexes, right? He's relying on his technique. Floyd not gonna throw no lazy ass jab. Floyd damn sure ain't gonna come out there all crazy, throwing crazy, stupid ass punches the way that Tio did.
Trying to knock the guy out and all that. But he's a gym rat and he's a consummate professional.
Yeah,
now,
he
Tio,
lives in the gym.
So just the rule of thumb, any fighter that you know, right? For example, any fighter that you know that relies on counterpunching and power, a layoff will affect them the most because when you come back, your reflexes is going to be dull, your timing is going to be off, and when you get in trouble, you're going to panic and you're going to rely on your power and you're going to throw stupid ass punches because like my power got to bail me out because I can't hit him, so I'm going to just throw everything at him. That's what Lopez did. But a good pure boxer will be a good pure boxer today, a year from now, 2 years after that, because they bread and butter is the boxing, not the physical shit. Most people can't distinguish the physical shit from the boxing. If you fast, that's physical. If you hit hard, that's physical. If you got fast twitch reflex, all right, that's still physical. Boxing is the difference between a proper jab and a lazy jab. That's the difference. It's technique. It's what you apply. And what I see, if you see any of these guys, they've been sitting out too long, ask yourself, yo, what kind of base style does he have? If he's a counterpuncher, be careful. Be careful. Be careful. You need timing to counter somebody. You need timing and reflexes. Yeah, you can have power and you throw not, but you need timing and reflexes to do that. And if that ain't right,
you need more fights to keep that timing up.
There you go. And he wanted to sit out for a year.
Hey, Jules.
Yo.
Hey, Jules, you think Tio gassed himself out in round 10, or was he playing it safe? Was he looking for that one big shot?
He gassed out, and I can't remember if it was. I heard somebody say it before the fight that it doesn't favor Teofimo. I believe it was Beats. Shout out to Beats because I was watching his shit. He said Teo needs to kill him quick because if it goes into the later rounds, the time off, he's gonna gas. He's gonna get tired. So when I see what happened, that you knocked him down, but you didn't finish him, that's what I'm thinking. They're like, yo, dog, the time off hurt you though. It probably hurt Kambosos too, but I mean, he outboxed you, so I really can't even use that as an excuse for you when he was off since October. He been out a year, but he outboxed you. When I see Teo, I see a guy to gas because he's used to fights finishing quick. He's used to that. Before the Lomachenko fight, right, and before the Nakatani fight, a lot of his fights finish quick. Be like they don't be going into the distance. They don't be going the distance.
It's
Most
like,
of the time
that's not like that's like not his plan B. It's like, you know, if I can't knock the guy out, I'm not prepped to go like a full 12. You know, like win points.
And he you know that the way that he came out, you know that he was not there to go 12 rounds. He wanted to kill him quick.
Him and his dad say they wanted to get him out in the first round.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a bad strategy, man.
Then what happened? He gets put on his ass near the end.
Yo, that shit is so. And we haven't even touched on Fulton and Figueroa. B the prediction that I got right, but that I got wrong. But that I got right.
Yeah, I caught. Damn it, I missed the fight. What was because it? I heard it was good.
Jay, the prediction stuck. It's just that I don't really think Fulton won that. But
okay.
I picked Fulton to win and win on points, but. Did he?
That was a good back and forth fight, but I think Fulton landed the cleaner punches. That's what got him the victory.
I mean, I saw it because I found the copy and I was watching. I saw 3 rounds. From the first 3 rounds, it looked like Fulton was winning for the most part.
And I don't want to get too into it because that's for the recap. But I'm with Country that if Fulton won the fight, it was because he was throwing cleaner punches. But was he really outworking Figueroa?
No. No, they were taking. They were taking it to each other, man. And Figueroa was handing them just as much as he was dishing out, man. That was
I'm just gonna say that I never saw a point in a fight where Fulton backed Figueroa into the ropes and was working him. I seen him try to hold I seen him fight his way off the ropes. I saw him take it to the center of the ring, but he couldn't hold it. He kept getting backed into the fucking corner, getting backed into the rope. So. Look for that on the weekend recap, but man, oh man, Lopez versus Kambosos.
Figueroa's a bigger puncher, right? Figueroa's a bigger puncher, right?
Yes.
Fulton was looking like he was getting hurt from some of those punches, man. Especially when he was getting to the body and backing him in the corner. Fulton was getting hurt, man.
Yeah, he was getting. Yo, look,
I kept hearing that Fulton had to clean up work, but like, what effect did that had on Figueroa? Because he kept coming forward, and I don't think you could just win by just landing a cut on him. It's like, no, man, your work is trash, man. You're not really setting up, your punches, with angles. You're mostly getting, slugging it out with him right in front of him, and he's bigger than you. So how the fuck are you gonna try to neutralize his size?
It was a tough fight to score, man. It really.
I'm gonna watch it again. I'm gonna watch it again because I didn't score it. I didn't score it when I watched it, so I want to score it the second time I watch it. But a draw would have made sense.
I would have been happy with that.
Hold up, y'all. Question.
Look, to Figueroa's detriment, he got to fight longer, man. He can't fight that way.
Yes.
That's me. That's what's holding him back.
Does he beat MJ, y'all?
Oh no.
That dude is a drunk Navarrete, man.
No. I'm not gonna turn 180 on Fulton because I think it's impressive that he was able to take what he took. I am impressed with how durable he was and that he didn't give up. He didn't capitulate to Figueroa. So I'm impressed that, he durable. He's not the biggest puncher. And I see that you don't have the biggest feet because you keep getting sucked into this war and you can't get out of this. And if he want to come in, you can't stop him. That tell me you ain't got the greatest feet. What does MJ really have? Feet. Mm-hmm. He has feet. His great feet. He's not the biggest puncher, but he can punch. But what he does have is great fucking feet. So I'm leaning towards MJ.
Now does the fight happen? That's the question.
No.
Well, and Figueroa was talking mad stuff after the fight, talking to Fulton about, I won the fight. I won.
I think they should do it again. He's robbed. Yeah.
I mean, look, if somebody got robbed yesterday, it wasn't Lopez.
Hey, yo, ring. One of the judges tried to rob him though. One of the judges tried to rob
Yo,
George.
do you realize that they didn't score the first round of 10-8 round? Two of the judges.
No fucking way.
That's wild.
You got to be kidding me. What did
Yeah,
they
go
get?
look
What,
at
did they, what is it?
10-9.
What, they give it a 9?
They gave it a 10-9. They gave George a 10-9, bro.
Oh, you got to
That's
be. Oh my
ridiculous.
God, that shit is wild.
It's wild out here, yo. I say it all the time. It's wild out here, like yo. It's like you gotta be careful, B. Like you can knock a motherfucker down and they'll give you a 10-9. That's crazy. That was
my
a clear
God.
knockdown.
It was.
Anyway,
Wow.
gentlemen, always a pleasure. Ring views. Feel free to join the panel anytime, bro. You know what I mean? If you still listening.
All right,
Always
y'all.
a pleasure. I gotta get ready for the weekend recap.
Can't wait.
Have a great one, you guys.